State leaders talk about the emergency response to this winter storm. The bad news is there's another round of icy precip on the way. Cold temperatures below freezing still on the way. But the good news is 1.2 million households have had power restored, and they hope to have power restored to 400,000 more households tonight. The 411 starts now.
The 411 on KHOU 11 News.
At this hour, Houston is under a boil water notice with serious water pressure problems. How it happened and what the city is doing to help you out. And another night with no power. That's what energy officials for the state say is coming.
Breaking news, federal aid is coming. The Biden administration says it will provide generators to Texas. They're also preparing to move diesel into the state for the generators that are already here. That would help provide power for communications facilities, hospitals, and the systems that help keep the water running. FEMA is also supplying Texas with water and blankets at the state's request. More details from the governor streaming now on KHOU.com. A little light of hope in a sea of frustrations as this winter storm continues to cause problems here in Houston.
And the newest problem, boil water notices across the area. Sherman Chow joins us live now. She's sharing the update from city officials.
Yeah, Sherman, what happened here?
Well, let me tell you, this freezing weather that has frozen pipes, knocked power generators offline, also impacted the city water supply. For example, chemical feed lines that are used to treat water froze. Those are being thawed right now. Now, the backup generators at water treatment plants did work the whole time, and that was actually a lesson learned from Hurricane Ike back in 2008. But generators for the distribution system did go offline.
I'm not going to make excuses. We had generators throughout the system, and they did not start because the temperatures were too cold for the generators to start. And so we've had to manually go out and warm these generators throughout the system.
Conserve right now, use water only for essentials. Water is okay for showering or flushing toilets, but not for drinking. Boil water there. The city is prioritizing the Texas Medical Center and medical complexes for restoration of water because they need basic sanitation. Now, the bottom line is that the water pressure should be restored enough by day's end that most households in the city will be able to do basic things with their water, including flushing the toilets. High five on that one. We're live here in downtown. Sherman Chow, KHOU 11 News.
Major high five, Sherman. Okay, Adam Bennett joins us live with another part of the story, what city leaders are doing to help.
Adam, the mayor hopes things will be back to normal sooner than later.
That's right, Mia. As Sherman mentioned, the mayor is hoping that we will see a substantial improvement by the day's end. Meanwhile, public works crews are thawing those lines and also adding more wells to the system, according to the director there. Now, Mayor Sylvester Turner is also urging grocery stores to carry more bottled water for the time being. He told us that he actually spoke with the presidents of both H-E-B and Kroger. Right now, there are no mass distribution sites planned for bottled water. The mayor says he's not ruling it out. He just says it's really dependent on the availability.
We also will be working again with the grocers to the extent we can get water from them that we can make available. We will do that as well, in addition to people going into the stores. But if we can get additional supply of water, we'll do that.
Now, Mayor Turner said Houston Public Works will double check its own emergency supply from previous storms to see what they might be able to give out to the public. Now, this afternoon, the city's public safety director also said he's put in a request to the state for bottled water and also water tanks. He says they're still waiting to hear back, but his understanding is that right now there is just a lot more demand than there is supply. Ron and Mia?
All right, thank you so much, Adam Bennett. We are on day 3 of asking when will the power be back for good?
We know a lot of you are angry and frustrated. We're frustrated right along with you. Stephanie Whitfield has the latest now from ERCOT and Centerpoint. Stephanie, fill us in.
Yeah, I just talked to Centerpoint less than an hour ago. They had some good news to share. They've been able to add some power to the grid, which means 200,000 people in Houston have gotten their power back in the last few hours. But unfortunately, there are still more than 1 million people without power. So those rotating outages we've seen where you get power for a little while and it goes back out, that is going to continue this evening as well. Now, ERCOT, which controls power for the whole state, says two things have to happen to get everyone their power back permanently. First, generators have to be repaired. So far, they've been telling us, they'll get one fixed and then another will get knocked offline. So the work that was done last night was essentially a net neutral. The second factor is the weather. As we warm up, it'll be easier to transport fuel and personnel to make repairs. Plus, demand will go down, and we're told that's already happening. ERCOT CEO, who's facing a lot of criticism right now, says he stands by the decision to impose outages at the beginning of this week.
If we had waited and not done outages, not reduced demand to reflect what was going on the overall system, we could have drifted towards a blackout. And I know that people feel like what we're seeing feels like a blackout, but the blackout that can occur if you don't keep the supply and demand in balance could last months.
So today, ERCOT was asked, what is the best case scenario for getting power back on for everyone? And they said the best case in the short term is that rotating outages will at least be shorter, so your power goes out for like 20 to 30 minutes at a time. And that could happen as early as tomorrow, but that's just not very comforting for people as they go into another cold night tonight, guys.
Absolutely right there. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Let's check in with Addison Green and an update on this weather. Hey, Addison.
Hey, Ron, we have ourselves one more round of winter weather to deal with before we finally get a chance to get the sun to come back and also those temperatures to go on the rise. Most areas north and west of Harris County will be dealing with a little freezing rain to sleet to some minor snow accumulations as we go through the overnight hours and in through tomorrow morning. That's why we do have a winter weather advisory in place for, say, Montgomery County and areas north and west due to that light freezing rain, where the roadways will become slick, but the overpasses and bridges will become a little on the icy side, with the temperatures dipping down to around the freezing point. Then as we make our way through Thursday night and in through Friday morning, we now have a hard freeze watch for most of Harris County, areas to the south and west, as well as up to the north, with temperatures going down to the teens and 20s, and there will be an issue of any standing water on any of those roadways, bridges, and overpasses refreezing as we make our way in through Friday morning. But for your day tomorrow, everyone north and west of Harris County will be seeing some minor wintry showers coming on down. It's about a 20% chance for the Houston area itself. Then through lunchtime, it's about 30% chance, temperatures in the mid-30s. And then, guys, by the afternoon hours, we're still cold, but when we come back in a few minutes, I'll talk about the warm-up that's on the way.
All right, anxious to hear about that, especially after you mentioned temps in the teens and the 20s, because we know these circumstances are extremely upsetting.
But with even no water pressure or even water, we've got tips to help you keep the water flowing in the bathroom.